Hello everyone, my name's Dean, let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is February 22nd, 2025. And this is just going to be an update on Bitcoin's price action, what we're seeing on the charts, how our last call fared, and what we see happening next in Bitcoin and in altcoins. And I'm going to talk about an altcoin, a top 20 altcoin that I see moving first, i.e., being one of the front runners of this 2025 alt season, one of the first big movers that, it's not some random, no name, very, very low liquidity altcoin. No, this is a big top 20 project that's going to run, I believe, based off of the price action on the chart sooner than others. So if all that interests you, then watch until the very end. Let's get started with Bitcoin as usual. All right, on the daily time frame, so Bitcoin's doing what we expected based off of the price action. Okay, so we had this 2-week flag, right? We're in a bull flag, right? Purportedly. And so we have a flagpole right here. Okay, if this will draw. A flagpole and a flag. And now we're looking for the breakout. And the first move from the bottom of this flag is obviously to the top of the flag and then back down to the midline. We got that yesterday. And so now we're looking for our next move. Let's zoom down into the 4-hourly time frame so this makes a little more sense. So the first move happened as it should have, right? Like I said, to the top of the flagpole, wicking ever so slightly above it, or did I say flagpole? To the top of the flag, wicking ever so slightly above it, back down to the midline, retesting the midline at support right around the 95K region. And now the next move, which is currently happening, is a move up and out, and then again retesting the top of our 2+ week flag as support. That's the final move that has to happen before leaving the boundaries of the flag of the channel, right? This is channel trading 101. So again, top, midline retest, breakout, top retest, and then go. That's a bullish breakout of a flag, and it happens like that pretty much every single time. So we drew in that price action a few days back. Maybe it was yesterday or 2 days ago. And so far, so good. So we're expecting our next target for Bitcoin before any major retracement, which is the previous swing high around 102. Okay? So expect Bitcoin to matriculate to the top here in some way, shape, or form. Some messy sort of impulse, not a clean impulse, but a messy corrective impulse, again to 102. And then the most important part is not necessarily the upper target, but that you're gonna have to come back down and retest the top of this 2+ week channel as support. Previous resistance, right? It was resistance for about 2 weeks, almost exactly 2 weeks. Broken, retested, midline broken. It's gonna have to be broken and then retested in earnest, and that's the final move. So we couldn't see that sooner than later, right? Because we're currently in this next move up and out of the flag. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. So far, so good, as expected. And again, we're on the road to 108. That is basically where I see this all playing out to. 108 thereabouts, and I've explained that ad nauseum in previous videos. I'm not going to go back into all of that, but we're looking at a final target for Bitcoin to the upside in this general high time frame move at around 108. Okay, And once we get that, then we want to be on high alert, because we're then expecting some big moves to the downside in a number of ways, and we can get into that once we get closer to our 108K target. But that's not that important, to be honest. Like, yes, it's important because you always want to track Bitcoin, and whatever Bitcoin does, everything else follows in some way, shape, or form. So you always want to have a keen awareness as to what Bitcoin is doing. But that's not the most interesting thing in the cryptocurrency space. The most interesting thing is in the cryptocurrency space right now are altcoins, right? Because altcoins are looking to play catch up with Bitcoin, and as you can see with this Bitcoin dominance chart, we're finally starting to break down, right? We had a start of this breakdown right here. We had a triangle, broke out of the triangle, retested that previous support as new resistance, tabletop resistance right here, and you can see we're breaking down from that tabletop resistance. So this is promising for altcoins beating Bitcoin, meaning altcoins gaining against Bitcoin in market cap. Yeah, and you can see that echoed in the Bitcoin, in the total 3 indicator. So the total 3 indicator is our altcoin, all altcoins in the cryptocurrency space minus Bitcoin minus Ethereum. That's the total 3. So it's showing you, it's giving you a rough idea as to, what these altcoins are doing in the aggregate. Yeah. And so you can see here on the daily time frame, this has been a massive, not massive, but long 18-day consolidation. And once again, you're in a channel trading, or understanding and really having a good hold of channel trading is so useful, because channels are everywhere. You always see channels. There always will be some sort of restricted or some sort of channeled trading for accumulation or distribution. And so understanding what price action is doing within the boundaries of that channel is helpful, and how price action is likely to leave the channel either to the upside or to the downside. So what we can see here, I believe, is quite clearly an ABC flat correction. Okay, so again, this is the aggregate altcoin chart. You did an ABC flat correction, and then you moved to the top of the channel, and then you retested the midline as support. So again, just like Bitcoin, and let's put this in properly with the path tool, just like Bitcoin, if I'm doing an altcoin analysis, and again, this is a general analysis because this is a total 3 indicator. This isn't any particular altcoin, but this represents altcoin in the aggregate, altcoins in the aggregate. After this ABC, going up, going to the midline, I expect then a breakout, and then a retest of the top of the channel, and then a breakout in earnest. Okay, so very, very much like what you see in Bitcoin, you're doing in the altcoin space. But I do expect at some point altcoins to deviate somewhat, or a lot, actually, not somewhat, quite considerably from Bitcoin's price action, and specifically insofar as they're going to break up and out of this channel, and then much higher. So on the small time frame, you can expect this ABC again. This is coming. So I think what you're going to see is, in lockstep with Bitcoin, as this moves up and out of the 18-day channel, then expect a retest. I think Bitcoin and altcoins put in that retest around the same time. But then this right here is going to be much different in altcoins, because if you zoom out, what you're going to see is after that move, like, you're basically headed much higher than Bitcoin can ever dream of heading in this scenario, in this context, because Bitcoin's limited by a lot of resistance around 108. But altcoins, not so much. Altcoins, you have that resistance of the midline of this channel, this green channel, about 10% away, yeah, from where we're at right now. But after that, I mean, you do then have the resistance of the top of this channel, but you're pretty much targeting this bigger resistance right here, right? You're looking for ways to break out, and you're likely going to break out of this channel and hit that target, that higher target that's around 300% away from where we're at right now. And I've said this before, it's quite clear, you have this inverse head and shoulders bullish reversal pattern. You broke out, you retested the midline. I mean, that is eventually going to be hit. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. And right now, where we're at, that's about 275%, almost, let's say 300% up from where we're at. Okay, so keep that figure in mind. 300% up from where we're at is where I think altcoins in the aggregate, judging by the total three, can hit. And right now, again, if you're looking at it on the small time frame, intraday time frames, you're actually executing a move up and out of this 18-day channel to eventually retest the top of the channel as support. Okay, so that's altcoins in the aggregate. We looked at Bitcoin dominance. Now, I want to talk about something that I'm really excited about, an asset that everybody in the crypto portfolio and mentorship consultation service has in their portfolio, because I am a big fan of this asset. Technically, I think it's going to do great things in the bull market, and I think it is a no-brainer in terms of the risk reward of this play, of this investment. And right now, you can see this asset is ranked. Sorry, 1 second, let me fix my screen. Right now, this asset's ranked number 15 on CoinMarketCap, right? So it's a relatively large asset. This is one of the oldest coins, one of the oldest altcoins in the entire cryptocurrency space. It's never been part of a scandal, really, any major scandals, no major hacks. It is solid, and the price action is great. I'm not going to go over the high time frame price action. It's not the time to do that, but I'm going to tell you why. I believe with a high degree of probability, we can see a big move from this asset even sooner than a lot of other assets that you can see high on the CoinMarketCap list in terms of market cap. Yeah. So Litecoin is pretty much at resistance right here. And it's not just at resistance where, you're kind of looking to be rejected from resistance. You're consolidating beneath resistance. You're doing an SOS, a show of strength or sign of strength at resistance. That basically means technically you're looking to break resistance at any moment. And when I look up and down my watch list, nothing else is really poised to do that. Okay, obviously things are looking bullish, but not in this particular way. They're not as advanced in their matriculation technically of breaking major resistances. So all that to say is this: I believe it seems likely that Litecoin may make its run to the next logical resistance, which is, coincidentally or not, around 275% from where we're currently at. Remember, 275 is representative of the total three's major target to the upside, and that's exactly Litecoin's target. And obviously there's no coincidence, Litecoin being a number 15 asset features in that total three, and with its large market cap heavily skews that calculation. But yes, I think that Litecoin moving one of the first, being one of the first to move is likely given what we're seeing on the charts. Okay, so the long and the short of it is this: you've been in this purple range for 1,000 days. Okay, so again, you're doing channel trading. So what you do in channel trading is once you finish consolidating within a range, you move to the top, slightly breaking the top resistance, and then retesting the midline. Boom. So that's been done. Okay. Now the next move is to move out of the range, and you're typically moving out of the range and in such a way that you're targeting the height of the range superimposed from the site of breakout. Okay. So that's typically what you do. You want to typically look at doubling the range. And, that is another way to say whatever price action you put in consolidation within the range is probably some sort of bullish reversal pattern. And here we have a W pattern. And, that's essentially what we just did. You take the height of the W, superimpose it from the side of breakout to get your technical target. And that's your previous swing high. And if you look at it even from a larger vantage, you can see that this is within a larger channel. Okay, so we just looked at a 1,000-day channel. Now you can look at it in terms or in context of this 2,700-day channel. And so you're at the midline of the 2,700-day channel, and the next move, quite logically, is the top of the channel, then retesting the midline. So that being said, looking at where Litecoin is at the midline of this 2,700-day channel, at the top of this 1,000-day channel, showing signs of strength. And for those of you who don't know what I mean by sign of strength, you can Google it, but essentially you're putting in usually a sign of strength at resistance is a rising, do we call it a rising wedge? Yeah, I guess. Or an ascending triangle. I think you call it an ascending triangle. Essentially, it's the same thing. It's basically a triangle that's going up, but in this context, it's more likely to break up than down, okay? Just because it's showing strength, making higher highs and higher lows. And you can see here, ever since this capitulation, Litecoin has been up and to the right quite strongly, quite, markedly. It's in what's clearly an impulse to the upside. So just expect that to continue. And again, the larger target is about 275% of the way. And where do you get that liquidity? Again, the liquidity for any move, for any impulsive move, is had from the previous consolidation, or the previous consolidation. Whatever accumulation was made prior to the breakout. So you're looking at 1,000 days of accumulation, then translated to this move that we're about to see in Litecoin. So I would not be surprised if we get that sooner than other assets, because other assets aren't necessarily showing signs of strength at resistance, although they are also going to break out soon in my estimation, because they should be doing this before Bitcoin reaches its target of 108. Litecoin seems primed to do it first, given its position on the chart. So that's why I'm really excited about Litecoin. I think that this SOS breaks to the upside, and then once it gets above this resistance around 140, I mean, there's no catching it. It's gonna pump in a violent way to its eventual target of, what is it, 474, 476, something like that. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Guys, I hope this was helpful. I hope this was useful. Like, share, and subscribe if you got value. Consider tipping me by sending me a Venmo, Cash App, or Litecoin, all at the pinned comment below. And do consider joining my crypto portfolio mentorship and consultation service, always at the pinned comment below. And that's basically a one-on-one with me once every month for $150. I think it's quite reasonable. we spend 1 to 2 hours going over your positions, up to 5 positions. We look at entries and exits and strategies for maximizing gains in this coming bull market, this bull market that we have yet to see. And so, yes, it's frustrating, but like, you gotta prepare. You can't just be buying anything, although a lot of things are going to run, not everything will run. And you want to really minimize risk, because crypto is nothing but risk. So that's it for me, guys. Take care.
Arrived at the fork in the road, could turn back, repeat the same story, or march forward and embrace change and reflect upon his glory. I'm a selfish man, therein lies the whole problem. Torn between my actions and the will of my heart. I had to take it all apart to see where I stood as a man, to depart from this world and leave it in his hands. Come on.
Looks like I'm heading for the gold, y'all. Touring on a pothole road, y'all. I get it even if I didn't fit in, winning right up to the end, like I didn't even know, y'all. I have Pop's genetics, working hard never to get it, like shit or better. Don't letting life get the best of my efforts. Instead I dedicated to bettering my steps, measuring investments, watch me do it to the death, y'all.